What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about DC games and 2025. Now, look, we've done a video on Wonder Woman. We've done a video on Superman, but I want to talk about just DC as a whole and kind of the pressing need for this to be something for them. Now, granted, last year was kind of a double dip. You had Suicide Squad Kill a Justice League, which definitely was an experience, and then you had Arkham Shadow. And actually, both of them kind of unique in their own way. What they did for the brand, unique in their own way. But this year is obviously a year of kind of being quiet. I mean, we've talked about it before with Wonder Woman, right? Whether or not there's a Hogwarts Legacy thing coming, if that happens, if it doesn't, Wonder Woman is probably still in the state of the best you get is showing it. Now, that's kind of the theme for all of these games, right? When we talk about DC, it's all of their games. The best case scenario is that you see something in 2025, not that you play it. Unless you count like constant updates for multiverses, which, maybe counts if you want it to count. I'm not going to take that away from you. But for Rocksteady, for WB Montreal, for Monolith, for anybody else, third-party stuff, right? The best you're going to get is seeing something. It's not actually, playing it. Now, I personally believe it should be a big year. We can go back into like the Superman well and talk about, okay, well, a Superman movie, is coming out in July. This is the kickoff point for the new DC universe, whatever you want to call it, with James Gunn. Wouldn't it be cool if we could kind of have something go alongside that and say, okay, well, here's a movie, but we're also working on a Superman game? You could just say it. And I will say, I think based off the past couple years that we've gotten, you could say this is actually more of a down year because if you're not actually playing anything, at least we got to play things in the past years. But think about it. The last little while, right? You had Gotham Knights, Suicide Squad, Arkham Shadow, right? Those were kind of like the big three. And well, they all did something a little bit different. Gotham Knights, in retrospect, actually is probably better than we thought it was. Even though I thought it was a solid game at launch, I think it's probably going to age rather well. Sold pretty okay as well. Suicide Squad was obviously Suicide Squad, and then Arkham Shadow did its thing, which was actually pretty darn good. It's just I wonder what the player base is. You're not going to get that like needle moving DC thing until at least 2026 and at least with Wonder Woman. I know there's very few people that even have confidence that it can do anything positively, which I understand and get, but it feels kind of empty, to be honest with you. Like, you go back to like the DC fandoms, and weren't those like something really special, by the way, even though it was it was a weird era for DC in general, but like I think that kind of ignited people. It got people together. It got people, speculating. When you think about the games now, there's just so much of nothing. Like you have Monolith and you have Wonder Woman, but you don't know when that's coming out. When's the next time you're going to see it? And because of how long it's been, there's just the hype and excitement is so low. It's at an all-time low, right? And then you have, nothing else, literally nothing else. You have other studios that could be doing stuff, but they could be years away, or they just haven't actually announced anything. And then third-party stuff, which, we've talked about time and time again. Marvel, like all of their games, hate all their games, kind of be mixed on them, whatever. They at least go out and they make these deals, and you get all of these different kinds of Marvel games. So you're not having like the spacing and the issue that if like one or two games doesn't hit, then you really have nothing for like half a decade. They don't have that problem, right? They just don't. So DC needs to catch up, and I feel like I don't know if we ever felt this before, say those DC fandoms, those couple of years that we got, but it does feel quiet. It feels empty. It feels like, well, really, WB in general, like, needs help. I mean, I'm not saying anything new there. They got help with Hogwarts Legacy. That really helped. Say, like, the gaming division, right? That maybe borderline saved them. We don't know for sure, but I feel like it probably helped them quite a bit. And that's it. When it comes to DC, again, like the real needle-moving type thing, we never got something that like changed the talk around it. And here we are, and now we've got, a mystery in Wonder Woman and then nothing after. So, again, my own personal prediction, I would like to see Wonder Woman, and I think that it makes sense with the time period. And, we talked about all this in the Wonder Woman video. When it comes to Superman or anything else, like, I just feel like you need one more. Granted, it was 2 games, but you had DC fandom, and you had Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad being announced at the same time. And even though that was 2 games, it felt like a good amount. And because of the spacing, actually the original spacing, remember, was even closer. But it just felt like, okay, well, once you get the one, and that could be really, really cool, well then, okay, right afterwards you're getting that second thing, that big thing from Rocksteady. Right, the feeling of it right now is not like that. And it's, I would say, primarily driven by the unknown. Like, we really just don't know what's coming beyond Wonder Woman. And then Wonder Woman has issues, obviously, of its own, right? So I don't know. I want like a year to like inject us with a little bit of excitement. And I do think because there's nothing to play from DC, maybe this is the year that you can do it, right? I mean, here's the thing. If I was that company, this would be the year, because if you don't have anything coming this year, but that means you might have 2 or 3 things coming in the next 2 or 3 years, show all of them, because you're not that far out. Obviously we've talked quite a bit. I'm not a big fan of showing a game 3, 4, 5 years before coming out. But what about 2? What about 1? If a game is coming out mid 26, show it. This is the year, because you got nothing else, right? Now I'm getting mad, but that's the situation. If it was me personally, I would just show whatever you got that's within range. You don't need to show a game that just started yesterday that's 6 years out. But if you've got something that's coming out in the next 2, maybe even 3 years, I mean, they can just kind of snowball into each other, which could be good for you. So I think people can handle a movie and a game. Like, I don't think that's a problem. I really don't think one takes away from the other at all. But they might, if you're thinking about the creatives, they might be saying, well, if we do have a Superman game, let's say, right? Say it's 2, 3 years out. You could just wait another year. We don't want to take anything away from the movie. This entire year is about getting ready for Superman on July 11th, right? And that's it. And we don't have time to, like, show off a game. I mean, I get it to a degree. I think that's still wrong. I actually think people could handle knowing about a Superman game and a movie. But I'm just playing devil's advocate. I really actually don't even have to, because they do the work for me. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you expect to see anything from DC or not? You let me know. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.